Does that put us back to square one?
I don't think it's back to square one at all. I think actually this is the first time that we've seen a majority in the House of Commons in favour of a negotiated deal. So it's a very big moment. We've also seen the opposition leader, Jeremy Corbyn, climb down from his position that he wouldn't accept any talks with the Prime Minister and accept that he will have to start speaking. So I think those are two very big positives. Of course, Emmanuel Macron is saying, and the European figures are saying they don't want to reopen the deal, but they may have to, because the only path to a negotiated agreement will be to find something that Parliament can ultimately back.
So we found something that Parliament is willing to back, and yet at least the public stance coming from Brussels is that this is not open for renegotiation. The alternative arrangements, what are the viable options available that you think the EU is willing to come to the table on?
Well, we're having a sort of a long-term Groundhog Day scenario here, where the biggest problem is this backstop, this insurance policy to keep the Irish border open in all circumstances. Now, that's an insurance policy to avoid a hard border between Northern Ireland in the UK and the Republic of Ireland. And it's over that the negotiations have stalled. And rather than negotiations, the ratification in Parliament. That's the issue that the MPs have identified tonight. They want that changed. And of course, it'd be ironic if the reason that we ended up with no deal and therefore potentially a harder border was because we couldn't find an answer to the backstop to prevent such a harder border.
Henry, the Brady Amendment is calling for alternative arrangements to the Irish backstop in its current form. What do you reckon that could look like in reality that would please the opponents of the backstop who feel that it may wed Ireland and Northern Ireland into a EU customs union indefinitely?
We saw a group of MPs come together from different parts of the Conservative Party, and they stapled together a whole lot of unicorns, a whole lot of perhaps slightly magical ideas about how the deal could be fixed in a way that would suit them. And of course, that doesn't bear a huge amount of correlation to what the EU thinks is actually possible. But the EU will need to take this seriously, because exactly as you were saying earlier, I don't think we're seeing a very big momentum in favour of a second referendum. We know that Parliament doesn't want to leave with no deal, but no deal remains the legal default. So unless we can find a way to make the deal acceptable to Parliament, we will be leaving without a deal. And we've also seen the Prime Minister managed to retain control of the Brexit process. The other key amendments that were fought off today was an amendment seeking to force her to extend Article 50, but also an amendment trying to put Parliament in charge of Brexit. And she successfully saw off both of those amendments. I think tonight, actually, the Prime Minister's had quite a good evening.